Hello everybody, Richard here. Today I'll be seeing how the iPad mini stacks up as a portable gaming machine, and mainly to see, is this device a good value if you're just going to be playing games on it. The first thing I'll be talking about is design. The design of the iPad mini is like any other Apple product. It's really good and it's made out of high quality materials. This iPad, I believe, is made out of aluminum, and this is just a nice feeling material when it's in the hand. Okay, Apple has applied a lot of detail, even all the way down to the chamfers on the buttons. The power button, the power button, switch, and the volume rockers. This is a very well built Apple product. Integration with products like the smart cover just show how Apple are really paying attention to the little things as well as the big things of their products, like the iPad mini. The iPad mini has a lot of small touches and small details. All in all, the design of the iPad mini is just fantastic. It is a typical high quality Apple design. And, with Apple, expect nothing less. This is just a very well-built device. It's a bit fragile, but it is really well-built. The material choice is excellent. Just, well-built. Definitely a good design. Okay, now getting on to the main reason why you're here. The reason why you're here is because of the games. Are the iPad games good, or are they just plain terrible? The first game I'm going to be talking about is Infinity Blade. Infinity Blade, really good games. This shows what mobile gaming can be, and this is just a good demonstration of what the iPad can do. The problem with mobile games on the iPad, there aren't many games with the quality of the Infinity Blade 3. The developers of Infinity Blade 3 are taking a big risk by releasing a mobile game, but the payoff of this game for the gamers is just so good. The problem with most mobile games is that developers just aren't willing to risk money and time into a high quality mobile game, which is problematic because a lot of the $7.50 games on the App Stores are just rip-offs of console games. A good example of console rip-offs games would be Gameloft's Modern Combat series, or a good chunk of their games. This is just cheap and lazy for developers. Why are developers forcing console experience games onto mobile devices? A good example of bad console experience games being ported to mobile devices would be FPSs. Okay? You can't force console controls onto a mobile screen, onto a mobile flat piece, and first virtual joysticks, etc. This is just terrible. Okay? On-screen FPS controls are just terrible. Why can't there be more unique mobile gaming experiences like found on Infinity Blade? Developers should be taking more advantage of what's there and not just trying to put virtual things on. Okay? Developers need to just make more unique games. A good example is Infinity Blade and Device 6. Just needs more tablets, and most mobile devices need unique experiences with unique control types. Most games on the iPad run very well without stutter. There's only occasional stutter on more intensive games where the frame rate will slightly drop, but other than that, the games run pretty perfectly on the iPad. The range of games available for the iPad is fairly large. You have your general entertainment games like Angry Birds and Bad Piggies from Rovio, then you have your more serious games like Infinity Blade 3, and it's a really big range, and then there are these games. The next thing we'll be talking about is the value of the iPad. Is the iPad mini a good value if you're just going to be gaming on it? And the quick answer for this question is no. The iPad mini is not a good value if you're just going to be gaming on it. To make the iPad mini a good value, you need to treat it more as a multimedia device. Because the cheapest iPad mini, I believe, starts at $479, which isn't too good. If you're just going to be gaming on a tablet, you're best off getting the Nexus 7, which only starts at $200. And also another problem with the baseline iPad is that it only has 16 gigs of storage. If you're going to put any serious games on the iPad, you need to get at least the 32 gigabyte, which is 598 Australian dollars, and that's a lot of money for one device. And each storage option after 32 gigabytes goes up by $100. So if you want more storage, $100 for the next options. Okay, the next thing we'll be talking about is specs. I left the specs and OS last because I wanted to show what the iPad could do before I started talking about specs. So in terms of specs, the iPad mini has an Apple A7 chip, 64-bit chip with the M7 Motion processor, the Retina display with a 2048 by 1536 resolution, which is 326 pixels per inch, 1 gigabyte of RAM, and 16, 32, 64, and 128 gigabyte storage options. So if it's not obvious to you, the iPad mini runs iOS 7. iOS 7 is great. It's quite a big difference from iOS 6, but it's still, all in all, it's just the same grid of icons that iOS 6 was. But what they've done with the control panel, I believe it's called, and the notification thing, so they made it a lot better. It's transparent. There's a lot more effects. It's a more polished version of iOS, but it just hasn't got a lot of the different things that you would expect from a new version of iOS. I was really hoping for a radical redesign, but this really isn't that. Now, something really annoying in iOS 7 is that whenever you pull up the control panel, like the quick toggle settings, and you go to the notification center, it pauses videos. It's really annoying, and it just annoying because when I want to quickly change the brightness in a YouTube video, it pauses the video instead of letting me just watch the video in the background. But all in all, iOS 7 is a great experience. Hey guys, just before I end the video, I would just like to make a quick note that's saying sorry, this video wasn't really just gaming, it was a lot of other things. I don't want to do a full review of this device because I'm not really good at those. I just wanted to give some gaming opinions and a few small opinions and still add a few design things. But I hope you guys liked the video, and I'm going to give you my salutation message. So yeah. To wrap up this video, I'm going to say that the iPad mini is a great device. It's a great experience using it. It's built really, really nicely, and over the time which I've been using it for a while now, but great experience. So this just about wraps up the video. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Bye.